You're listening to another episode of the Anna Vivo podcast. Thank you for your time.
The Mothman Prophecies.
Ooh.
A series of strange sightings and encounters in Point Pleasant, West Virginia in the 1960s that some believe were related to a mysterious creature called the Mothman. Yeah, it's like a Twilight Zone.
It is. Yeah. Do you know where, what was the town called? Do you know where that is in West Virginia?
Point
Pleasant. Yeah. Do you know where that is? Look it up on a map because, and while you're doing that, have you watched the new Riverdale series, which is a joke Archie comic spinoff?
I have seen the first season.
Okay. If any of you are listening live, and to do so, just go to anavivo.com for future live events. If any of you are listening live and have watched the Archie Riverside comics, tune in, drop us a notification right now because I'd like feedback. And this goes into this, and I don't want to spoil. If you haven't seen it, I grew up reading the Archie comics because we didn't have TV and we didn't have the internet. Do I sound like a dinosaur? And don't answer that. And so whenever we would go shopping, in the checkout lane was the latest Archie comics, and they've evolved over the years. They've run for a long time, but I would read those every chance I got to spend my allowance money on an Archie comics. I would get, and I would read them all the time, and I was into the whole culture of it. And for the longest time, I wanted to open up a pop shop, and maybe still do. I mean, that's kind of a side dream for retirement, is opening up this place where I can just be a person who comes and sits there and makes kids drinks and snacks and whatever, and listens to their problems, high schooler problems, and I enjoy.
Yeah, it's called a bartender.
No, I don't want to be a bartender. I want to make milkshakes and smoothies and have booths that people can come get a really good burger and just sit there and do their homework and tell me about their problems. A lot of kids, I have a heart for people that don't have dads, kids that don't have dads, and I should specify not people that don't have dads. I'm not going to, I love you if you're 30 years old and don't have a dad, but I have a heart, my heart breaks for children, vulnerable children that don't have father figures and don't have parents in their lives, which is a separate episode we can do. But part of that dream, that pipe dream, was to do this chocolate shop or pop shop like they had in the Archie comics. And he was always the stable character. If you go back and read through the Archie comics, he was the one person that was always there whenever there were issues going on, drama issues, real issues, whatever. Everybody would go solve them at Pop Shop. And Jughead would get a burger. They would get their milkshakes. They would have great memories there. They'd have work through issues there. And Pop was always there to kind of facilitate conversations through a wonderful atmosphere, delicious food, a relaxing and safe space. And that's what I enjoy. One of the reasons we do what we do now in the real estate world as consultants is because we enjoy facilitating conversations that can be authentic and true, free from the incentive of commission and sales, and help people actually solve problems outside of restrictive laws and things that may have been designed for good reasons, but now are not helpful at all. And so when I was reading these comic strips as a kid, I thought, man, that's what I want to do. I want to have this shop. I want to open it up for kids. I want to design the booths in a way that you can face each other when you're talking and that are kind of private. You could sit and do homework all day and be able to just drink coffee or have a milkshake or a burger or whatever. So anyway, all of that to say, a little glimpse into my life. I grew up reading the Archie comics. And so now they've got this show on Netflix, I believe it is, and it's called Riverside. And it is a very dark take on the Archie comics. And so it's definitely not the same at all. but it has a lot of the same characters. And one of the events, spoiler alert, for those that haven't watched the show, is Mothman.
Oh.
To bring this full circle.
Yeah, I was wondering where you're going with this.
Where's he going off this tangent? We're talking about Mothman here in Pleasant Town, West Virginia, Mount Pleasant, West Virginia. Did you Google the area?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about it. The audience, describe this area to us. Is it near any? What's the largest place that it's near? City, urban center.
Point Pleasant.
No, what is Point Pleasant?
Bay Head.
What did you say? What was it?
Spring Lake.
Oh, okay.
Lakewood. Brick Township.
Huge city.
Lakewood.
Okay.
It's not near Trenton, but that's the next closest thing.
Next closest.
It's right on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, just south of New York.
Okay. Yeah. So
speaking of fountain pop shops, isn't there a soda fountain shop like that in Port Townsend?
there is a place for those of you that want to visit our little neck of the woods. One ferry ride away to the quaint seaside village of Port Townsend does house a little shop, the Nifty's 50s. Actually, I don't think it's called the Nifty's 50s anymore, but it is a little 50s shop that is it's a soda pop. It's a soda fountain kind of place. They've got a jukebox, and they do serve you stuff that are just like that. And burgers. Yeah. The difference, what's it called? Are you looking it up?
No.
Oh, okay. The difference in that place versus what I'm thinking is that place is just built into the side of a old brick building in Port Townsend, right on the water. It's pretty, but it's just a big open, come in and eat and leave. The place I would create, it would be more like Pop's shop, which was the facility itself was a place that you would want to come in and spend hours in and sit down and not feel like you're on a show or something. So anyway, so back to the Mothman, Mount Pleasant, West Virginia. So if you know anything about West Virginia, if you're from West Virginia, you can describe this place to us. But if you know anything about West Virginia, it's, and this place in particular, the Appalachian Mountain Range and the sticks. I mean, when we say the sticks, when we talk about places that are like out in the middle of whatever, the Shenandoah National Park, the Appalachians, south of Pennsylvania, west of Maryland, Washington, D.C., southeast of Pittsburgh, out in the middle of nowhere. This is the kind of place that you would be driving along one of these roads, one of these interstates, to get out of this area, to get between the big cities, and you would see something like the Mothman. And so in the show, the Riverside, which is a little town, Riverside, on the side of a river, that's basically Mount Pleasant.
Point
Pleasant, sorry. It's right off a highway, and in one of the episodes, the Mothmen come out. And so, anyway, describe to us the opening. You mentioned something about the Mothman and what this phenomenon is and what the conspiracy is and what the story is all about.
Yeah. So now that you've been listening this long, you have no idea what we're talking about. The Mothman Prophecies is a book and subsequent 2002 film based on real events that took place in Point Pleasant, 1966 and 67. The events revolve around sightings of a strange moth-like creature with large red eyes that is seen as the harbinger of doom. And the sightings were followed by any events that people, thought were mysterious or anything. They'd say, this is the Mothman, or I saw the Mothman there.
Interesting.
And so one of the most famous events was in the mid-1960s, the Silver Bridge over the Ohio River collapsed, killed 46 people.
Wow.
And people saw the Mothman there.
Oh. Right before the collapse.
I think it was right after the collapse.
Okay.
And since then has become part of popular culture.
Interesting. So he's a harbinger. So they would see the Mothman,
It's like, you did this, and he's bringing death upon us.
and then something would happen, like the bridge collapsing, or
I don't know if they would see him first or after.
oh,
But they would
they would
see him.
associate it with that event. Okay.
Yeah.
And so this was a 1960s, late 1960s
Yeah.
event that took place that was then written about in a book and turned into a movie.
Yep.
2002. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. And I wonder, you can get those books at the travel locations that tell you about state-specific
Lore.
Yeah, conspiracy. We've got Bigfoot up here, or the Yeti. And so I wonder if the Mothman is specifically, because it was first sighted or documented in the East Coast there, if it has stayed there, or if you say the Ohio River, I wonder how far west sightings of the Mothman have been.
Well, it was back in the 60s before everyone had a camera in their pocket. So
True.
You just dress up in your mom's old funeral gown.
Put on your beady red eyes.
Put on your beady red eyes and run around.
Actually, to be fair, any picture they took back then with those cameras gave them
beady red eyes. Yeah.
I knew it.
Flash correction.
Interesting. Wow. So that's kind of it's sort of a man in a sickle, death picture.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
We just watched the newish Puss in Boots, The Last Wish.
Oh, yeah.
And the anti-hero or the villain of the story is death.
Oh, yeah, because he's got 9 lives.
No, Puss in Boots has 9 lives.
Yeah.
Death is...
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So his enemy is death.
Yeah. In this case, he's down to his last life.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. And the wolf portrayed in the movie is death and has red eyes. I wonder if some of the editors are familiar with the Mothman story.
Yeah, that's when red eyes were the first introduced.
So, yeah, interesting. Well, this is, we could do a whole series on state-specific lore and conspiracy theories. I'm not sure that I like conspiracy theories so much as I like previous ones we've done that are more based on reality.
Yeah, these are more unverified and can't really talk too much about them.
Right. And so for those of you listening, I would say the takeaway, I like to do a takeaway from each episode so you're not just left like, why do my ears hurt? Why does my brain not feel good? I want you to walk away with something from this. And the thing to walk away from is follow your childhood dreams. Grow up and make a chocolate shop, a pop shop. If you're the one who saw the Mothman, grow up and do something with that. Write a book, make a movie. That's what they did. I read the Archie comics, and I need to follow through with creating an environment or facilitating an area for people to feel comfortable. And I do that in my home. I try to make it a hospitable environment for folks, and I try to do that in conversation as well. But the takeaway, what did you really love doing as a kid, and what have you not done now that you should be doing or wish you could do? Stephen?
I wish I could dress up like a Mothman and no one would, be able to disprove it. Go around scaring people.
Really?
Yeah, how fun would that be?
What did you love as a kid?
Rube Goldberg machines.
No, that's a different episode.
Oh.
Oh, it always comes back to Rube. All right.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Ana Vivo podcast. We welcome your feedback and ideas. You can learn more about us by simply Googling the word Anavivo. This podcast is supported by listeners like you. I am a licensed real estate broker with Compass Real Estate and a nationwide real estate matchmaker. We consult with you for free, find and vet the right real estate professional that specializes in the area and niche you need, are paid by that professional, and they get clients like yourself who want and need their unique specialty or winning track record. If you or someone you know is in the market to buy or sell real estate anywhere in the U.S., don't simply web search the highest paying advertiser. Let us use our licensed experience to find and vet the real and best professional for you. It costs you nothing but a phone call or email with me and has saved my clients financially and emotionally. I'd be honored to serve, and you can reach me direct by email at tim.c.miller@outlook.com. And as always, to God be the glory.